we'll study the kinematics of rotational motion. Now here we are going to study three important relations regarding the rotational motion, which are similar to that of kinematic equations in linear motion. Now in linear motion we have studied three important kinematic equations. They are given by first one, V is equal to V naught plus AT, that is well known equation. And for the displacement we have the second equation, so x is equal to V naught t plus half AT square. And the third equation, kinematic equation in linear motion, is given by V square is equal to V naught square plus 2ax, where we have studied V naught is the initial linear velocity and V is the final velocity, A is the acceleration and T is the time taken and X is the displacement. Now these are three kinematic equations in linear motion. Now similar to that of kinematic equations in linear motion, we are going to have three kinematic equations in rotational motion. Now here the linear displacement x is replaced by the angular displacement theta. The linear initial velocity v naught is replaced by the angular initial velocity omega naught. The linear velocity, final velocity v is replaced by the angular final velocity omega. And linear acceleration is replaced by the angular acceleration alpha. And obviously time is same in both the cases. Now if you replace these linear quantities with the corresponding rotational quantities, we are going to have three important kinematic equations in rotational motion. They are, first one, now I am having omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha into t. That is the first equation, kinematic equation. And the second kinematic equation, displacement theta is equal to omega naught t plus half alpha t square. It is the second kinematic equation in rotational motion. And similarly we have the third equation, that is omega square is equal to omega naught square plus 2 alpha theta. Now these are the kinematic equations for rotational motion. So here omega naught initial angular velocity, omega final angular velocity, alpha angular acceleration, theta angular displacement. These are the kinematic equations 3. In the same manner, we are going to study dynamics of this rotational motion. We know that in linear motion, work done is given by force into displacement, F into dx. So that is work done in the case of linear motion or translatory motion. Now consider a rigid body which is rotating about a fixed axis. Okay. Now a torque tau is applied on the rigid body to change its velocity. That means to get the body angular acceleration. Now work done can be here written as, now this torque applied, it produces a displacement of d theta. We have a rigid body which is rotating. Now we are applying an external torque tau, constant external torque. That it is going to cause a displacement d theta. Then according to the definition of work done, the small amount of work done is given by, similar to the linear equation, we are having tau into d theta. The product of torque and the angular displacement gives work done in rotational motion. Okay. Now, in linear motion, we have studied what is power. Power is the rate of doing work. In the same manner, if you apply the same concept to the rotational motion, so what we are going to get here, if I substitute for it for the rotational motion, so therefore P is equal to tau into d theta by dt. It is d theta by dt. Now derivative of this theta, rate of change of angular displacement, is tau into omega. Therefore power delivered is equal to torque multiplied by the angular velocity. Now this equation is similar to that what we have studied in the case of linear motion or translational motion. Power P is equal to force multiplied by the velocity. Now this is the instantaneous power in linear motion. It is the instantaneous power in rotational motion. Now as and when a torque is applied, it produces a change in its angular velocity, and hence there is a change in its angular kinetic energy. Now what is the change in kinetic energy? That is dk by dt. So is d by dt of, we know the expression for kinetic energy in rotational motion. In rotational motion, kinetic energy is half I omega square. So where I is the moment of inertia, omega the angular velocity. Now if I differentiate this one, now half and I, they are constants. So therefore moment of inertia is a constant quantity, assuming that it is constant for a fixed axis of rotation and for a given rigid body. Now differentiate omega, that is 2 into d omega, 2 into omega into d omega by dt, derivative. I, half and I are constant, we are taken it out. Derivative of omega square is 2 omega, and we are derivating omega with respect to time, therefore d omega by dt. So that gives 2 get cancels, I omega into what is d omega by dt? Rate of change of angular velocity, that gives angular acceleration. Now according to work energy theorem, this change in kinetic energy is nothing but the rate of doing work, and that is equal to power. Therefore, the rate change in kinetic energy is equal to the rate of work doing, that is equal to power in rotational motion, that is given by I omega into alpha. Okay. So we are getting two expressions for power. So this one and here is this one. Now comparing those two equations, what we are going to get? Now omega, therefore tau is equal to I into alpha. We are getting an important relation. Tau is equal to, that is torque is equal to product of moment of inertia and the angular velocity. Now this relation is similar to that of, in linear motion we have force, F is equal to mass into linear acceleration. We are comparing them. Now here is force, it is compared with the torque, and mass in linear motion, it is a measure of inertia. It is compared with I, the moment of inertia, which is a measure of rotational inertia. It is a measure of rotational inertia. And we have linear acceleration. Now we are having angular acceleration. Now this is the dynamics of rotational motion. Now we will compare some physical quantities in linear motion as well as rotational motion. The first one we have displacement. Now in linear motion, displacement is denoted by x. In the same, we have angular displacement. Now angular displacement is denoted by the letter theta. Here it is linear displacement, it is the angular displacement. We have an analogy. Now after that one we are having linear velocity. Now it is denoted by the letter V and it is given by rate of change of displacement. Similarly, here we are having angular velocity. That is given by the letter omega and it is rate of change of angular displacement. That's the second term we are having similarities or analogy. Third one, linear acceleration. Now what is linear acceleration? It is given by rate of change of linear velocity dv by dt. In the same manner, here we are having in rotational motion, that is angular acceleration, denoted by the letter alpha. It is given by rate of change of angular velocity. And the fourth quantity we are having mass, denoted by the letter m. So here in rotational motion, it is moment of inertia. It is denoted by the letter I, moment of inertia. And fifth one, linear momentum. So linear momentum is given as P is equal to mass into linear velocity. In the same manner, in rotational motion, we have angular momentum. That is denoted by the letter L. Now, L is equal to, for mass we are having moment of inertia I. For linear velocity we are having angular velocity. Therefore, angular momentum is also given by I omega. Sixth one, force, linear force. That is, force is equal to mass into linear acceleration. So similarly, in the rotational motion we have torque, or it is called moment of force, is given by tau is equal to mass is replaced by moment of inertia and linear acceleration is replaced by the angular acceleration. Kinetic energy. Now kinetic energy in linear motion, K is equal to half m linear velocity square. Similarly, here the kinetic energy in rotational motion, so K is equal to half into mass is replaced by moment of inertia I and linear velocity is replaced by angular velocity I omega square kinetic energy. Work done. Now in linear motion, work done is equal to force into displacement F into x. So in rotational motion, work done is equal to force is replaced by torque and linear displacement is. Now the ninth one, power in linear motion is given by force multiplied by the linear velocity. Similarly, power in the case of rotational motion is given by, now force is replaced by the torque tau, and linear velocity is replaced by angular velocity omega. Now these are some similarities between, or the analogies between, the linear motion and rotational motion. Now we will study kinetic energy of rolling motion. Now consider a rigid body. Here we are considering a circular disc of mass small m and radius capital R. Now that rigid body, that is circular disc, is rolling down. It is rolling. Now this rolling motion, it is the combination of translatory motion as well as rotatory motion. Now in the case of translational motion, it is having translational kinetic energy. That translational kinetic energy, kT, or linear kinetic energy, is given by half, since m is the mass of the circular disc, and v square, linear velocity. Now here linear velocity, we are considering the linear velocity of the center of mass. Since this rigid body is assumed to be having n number of particles and all particles are traveling, now in that situation, we are not considering the velocity of all the particles. Instead of that one, we are considering the velocity of center of mass. Now this velocity of center of mass is denoted by VCM, and it is parallel to the surface on which it is having translational motion. So therefore, the translational kinetic energy kT is given by half m VCM, center of mass square. That's clear. Along with the translatory motion, that circular disc is having rotatory motion also. Now it is rotating with an angular velocity omega. If I is the moment of inertia of that circular disc, then the kinetic energy of rotational motion, is equal to half I, moment of inertia, into angular velocity omega square. Then in the case of rolling motion, what is the total kinetic energy? The total kinetic energy is given by, it is the translational plus rotational kinetic energy. It is the sum of the translational as well as rotational kinetic energy. Now substitute them. Therefore we are having half m VCM, center of mass square, plus rotational kinetic energy. It is half I omega square. Okay. Now we have the relation between the angular velocity and linear velocity. That is given by linear velocity VCM is equal to the radius r into angular velocity omega. That one relation we are having. And also I is the moment of inertia of that circular disc about its axis perpendicular to its plane. Now that we have already studied. Now I is given by mass into r square divided by 2, or simply we can write it as I is equal to m k square. Now what is k here? It is radius of gyration. K is that we have studied. Radius of gyration. Instead of writing r, we are writing m k square. Radius, where k is radius of gyration. Now substituting these two values in this expression, what we are going to get? Half m VCM square plus half I is mk square. And what is omega square? omega square is replaced by VCM by R. That is VCM divided by capital R whole square. Okay. Therefore, the kinetic energy, total kinetic energy in rolling motion is given by, now taking what are the common things, half m VCM square we are having. Therefore, half m VCM square, it is common. Taking this one out, we are having 1 plus, here it is 1 plus k square by r square. Now this k, it is kinetic energy. Now this k is radius of gyration. Now this is the final expression for total energy in the case of rolling motion. It consists of two parts. One part is due to kinetic energy of the translational motion and the another part is due to kinetic energy of the rotatory motion. Now last concept in this chapter, angular momentum and its conservation. Angular momentum is the vector product of position vector and linear momentum, and its magnitude is given by r into p, r it is equal to r into m into v, that we know. Now if I replace this linear velocity in terms of angular velocity, I will get L is equal to r m. Now what is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? So v is equal to r into omega. So therefore if I replace this one with r into omega, so therefore I am going to get m r square into omega. What is m r square? It is nothing but moment of inertia. Therefore I have the relation for angular velocity, angular momentum. The angular momentum is equal to product of moment of inertia and angular velocity. Now earlier we have studied that the rate of change of angular momentum of a rigid body is equal to torque acting on it, that we have studied. The rate of change of angular momentum of a rigid body or for a system of particles is equal to torque on it, external torque on it. And also we have studied this torque is only the external torque acting on the system of particles. If this external torque is equal to 0, the external torque acting on the system of particles is equal to 0, then angular momentum remains constant. That means angular momentum is always conserved. Now here angular momentum remains constant means that is the product of I and omega, moment of inertia and angular velocity, it remains constant. Angular momentum is conserved means the product of moment of inertia and angular velocity is constant. So this is a very important concept. If moment of inertia increases, obviously angular velocity decreases. If moment of inertia decreases, the angular velocity increases. So that is the law of conservation of angular momentum. Now we'll study some examples for this one. Now consider we are having a swivel chair, that is a rotating chair. On that chair, a child is sitting. Now that child starts to rotate with that chair, with its hands and legs are very close to the body, as shown in the diagram. As and when it starts rotating, now it is rotating with some angular velocity omega, and it has the moment of inertia I. Now initially, since the hands and legs are very close to the body, that child rotates with a greater speed, that is greater angular velocity. It rotates with greater angular velocity. As and when the child stretches his hands and legs, obviously what happens? The moment of inertia of that child increases. Since moment of inertia increases, what about the angular velocity? It goes on decreases. The velocity, angular velocity with which the child is rotating, it suddenly decreases as and when the child stretches his hands. Now, at the same time, if that child once again brings the hands and legs very close to the body, what happens? The moment of inertia decreases. Since whenever it is stretched, the distance from the axis of rotation is larger, r becomes greater, therefore moment of inertia increased here, angular velocity decreased. As and when he brings back the hands and legs very close to the body, this separation r decreases, therefore moment of inertia decreases. Obviously, the angular velocity suddenly increases based on the principle of conservation of angular momentum. Now this happens so that L should be constant. L is equal to I into omega. It should be constant. The same principle is used in acrobats who are performing in circus and in swimming. In a diving competition, a diver who is diving from a platform as shown in the diagram, he performs somersaults. He performs so many rotations, somersaults, and finally, as and when he is entering into the water, then he stretches his entire body, that is hands and legs. Now what happens in that case of a diver? As and when a diver jumps from the board, he suddenly brings his leg and hand very close to the body. What happens? The moment of inertia decreases. So at the same time, what will happen? The angular velocity of that diver increases. Therefore, he is going to perform so many somersaults, rotations, somersaults. They are called somersaults and rotations. So after performing the rotations, before entering into the water, that diver suddenly stretches his hand and leg. As and when he stretches his hand and leg, the moment of inertia increases. So obviously, the angular velocity decreases. Now, this angular velocity, decrease in angular velocity will not harm the person who is entering into the water medium. The other examples, some classical dancers, Western dancers, and even skating performers, they are using the concept of conservation of angular momentum. Now they are going to perform pirouette, that is, they are going to perform over their toes. While doing so, initially they will stretch their hands and legs, so therefore their moment of inertia increases. Then angular velocity decreases. Now as and when they bring their hands and legs closer to the body, obviously the moment of inertia decreases. Moment of inertia, then it decreases. What happens? The angular velocity should increase such that their product remains the constant, and therefore they are going to perform more and more rotations with greater speed. And in the astronomy, the planets are revolving around the sun, that we know. Now, if this is the Earth, if we take Earth is revolving, and we have here we have the sun. Now, this distance, at larger distance from the sun, Earth is moving with a lesser speed, because as the distance becomes more, the moment of inertia of Earth, m r square, r becomes larger. moment of inertia increases. Therefore, angular velocity decreases so that their product remains a constant. As and when the planet Earth is approaching towards the sun, as and when it approaches towards the sun, now what is its distance? Distance decreases. Since the distance decreases, its moment of inertia, mr square, decreases. In order to conserve the angular momentum, the speed of the Earth increases. Now this can be explained based on the concept of angular momentum. The planets which are very close to the sun moves with greater speed. When they are far away from the sun, they move with lesser speed. Now this same concept is explained based on Kepler's second law, that is law of area. Okay, so here also we are explaining this one. And one more example you might have seen: a bullet is fired from a gun. As and when the bullet starts moving, now this is the bullet, it starts moving. It is not only having only the linear motion. That bullet also makes the rotational motion also. Now this rotational motion of the bullet maintains the particular direction of the bullet. If it is not rotated, then obviously its direction changes. When a bullet is fired from a gun, it not only has a linear motion, it also possesses a rotatory motion. That bullet is going to rotate based on the conservation of angular momentum. Now these are examples, some examples for the conservation of the angular momentum.
Now we solve one problem. The angular speed of a motor wheel is increased from 1200 rpm to 3120 rpm in 16 seconds. First one, what is the angular acceleration? Second, how many rotations does the engine make during this time? So we have a machine, motor, whose wheel is rotating. Initially it is rotating with 1200 revolutions per minute. Now it is increased to 3120 revolutions per minute in 16 seconds. These are the given things. Okay. Now solution. Now initial angular velocity of this wheel is given, that is omega naught is given, that is 1200 rpm, revolutions per minute, but we want revolution per second. So therefore it is 1200 divided by 60 rps, revolutions per second. But we want angular velocity in SI units, that is radian per second. Now therefore this should be equal to 2 pi into 1200 divided by 60, it is radian per second. Now we have revolutions per minute, that is converted to revolution per second by dividing by 60, and this is converted into radians by multiplying it by 2 pi. So therefore the initial angular velocity, it becomes 1 0 get cancels, 1s are 2s are, therefore it is 40 pi radian per second. It is the initial angular velocity of that motor wheel. So similarly, final angular velocity of the motor wheel, it is 3120 rpm it is. Now convert it into radian per second. So that is equal to, multiply it by 2 pi 3120 and divide it by 60 as done earlier. It becomes radian per second. Therefore omega is equal to, so 1 0 get cancels, 6 ones are 6 fives are and 2. Okay, therefore 104 pi radian per second, and time is given, so time is equal to 16 seconds. We have to calculate angular acceleration. We have to work out the angular acceleration. For that one, we are using first kinematic equation for rotational motion, that is final angular velocity is equal to initial angular velocity plus angular acceleration into t. That is omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha into t. From this one, what is alpha? We are going to get omega minus omega naught divided by t. Now what is omega? It is 104 pi minus omega naught. It is 40 pi divided by 16. So is equal to 104 minus 40. It is 64 pi divided by 16. So that is equal to 4 pi. Therefore, angular acceleration of that wheel is 4 pi radians per second square. That is first one we have worked out. Now, how many rotations does the engine make during this time? That means we have to calculate the displacement. Now, the linear displacement theta is given by, it is omega naught t plus half alpha t square. With that formula, we can work out what is the displacement. Now, omega naught, it is 40 pi into time is 16 plus half into alpha is 4 pi into 16 square. Okay, simplify that one. 16 4 ka 640 pi plus 1 2 get cancels 2 pi. 16 6 is 16 square. 16 square is 256. 256 into 2, 512 pi. Okay, now add them just. Therefore, displacement is equal to 1152 pi. It is in radians. I require it in revolutions. How many revolutions it is going to make? Then I have to divide this expression divided by 2 pi. So 5 is 7 is 6. So during 16 seconds, that motor is going to make 576 revolutions during that time.